Our third lightning speaker is the front-end architect at eVision, one of our sponsors in The Hague, and he will be talking to you about generating client validation rules. His name is Ronald van der Kooy.
Hi, my name is Ronald van der Kooy. I'm a full-stack developer who loves React.js, right? You can find me on Twitter and on GitHub. I just tweeted this. It's great, the stuff that you learned today, right? You can now invoke functions with a backtick. Never heard of it. This is about generating your client validation rules. Okay, I work for a company called eVision Industry Software. We build health and safety software for the oil and gas industry. Pretty neat. We're a pretty young company, 8 years now, 200 plus employees. We have a great office in the city center of The Hague, and we have over 30 plus nationalities working for us. And about 2 years ago, we were facing some performance-related challenges. We were building a typical enterprise forms-based application, kind of outdated stack. We were seeing high CPU spikes on our application servers, then that's basically the nature of forms-based applications, right? Very stateful, session-based, so we had to do something about it. We completely rewrote our application, our front-end stack, and we chose React at that time, mostly because of the simple component model. It was very fast out of the box, testability was great, and I think what's very important is that new devs can really easily adopt to the React stack. The results were great, as you can see. But then we had to handle the validations. Imagine this, we have a product which is very, very configurable per customer, per vertical, even per region. And this is all configuration based. We have a huge configuration file which contains all the rules and validations. On top of that, we wrote our own domain specific rule engine. And this was only available on the backend. So now we needed that on the client. So how would you do that? So we came up with the following options. For example, you can ask the server all the time for validations, right? You're working with a document and you say, am I valid, am I valid? Not really good, becomes a bit chatty and we will be seeing 503 errors very soon. We could say, well, you know what, we're gonna write our rule engine again, but now on the client. Nah, we would have 2 rule engines now. We can manually write them per customer. That would be hard to maintain, so we would be firefighting this all the time. You can also do nothing, right? You can say, we're working with a document and I send it to the server when I'm done, and the server tells me if it's right, if I can continue. That's very old-fashioned. So we chose something in between. We said, you know what? We're going to generate this. So how does this look like? As input, we take the rules file, that big XML file. We wrote a C# to JS generator, which generates a JavaScript file for you, and serve that as static content to the browser. So your React app has access to it now. This looks something like this. It's a very simple, plain JavaScript file with simple comparisons in there. If statements that everyone can understand, string, boolean, number comparisons. So that worked out very well. These had several benefits for us. It obviously reduces the load a lot. We don't need to ask the server anymore. You have it there on the client. Fast feedback, JavaScript these days is very fast, so we can continuously execute this code in the browser. It's very simple to debug. You can put your breakpoint anywhere. You can hook up your logging framework in there. And we still have a validation fallback because, yeah, you might not be able to generate everything, but there's always the server for you as a last defense, right? And we could regenerate it. When the config changes per customer, we just regenerate the file and you will get the new validations. This looks something like this. So you're on the client. We have basic validations here, built-in validation for our product. Imagine the type or title. It's always mandatory to fill that in. On top of that, we have the generated validations. When you're done with that, you send it to the server. basic message validations, our strings and ints, right? And then the built-in validations on the server kick in, and on top of that is the actual rule engine. That results in a consistent way of showing the validations to the client. He can't tell where it's coming from, so yeah, that works very well. A little bit of a disclaimer here. I'm not trying to say how you should do this. This worked very well for us. I just want to say, keep it in mind to generate your code. It is always an option. With that said, that is the end of my talk. Thank you.